On this week's episode of Joyful Disciples, we are talking about heading back to Mass. We are returning to receiving the Eucharist and being back together in community. Hi, Donna Ottaviano-Britt here with another episode of Joyful Disciples, and we are about to be really joyful. We are heading back to Mass in the Diocese of Camden in a week. And this is a time for us to celebrate. But this is also a time for us to harness our love and our kindness in the changes that we have to go through for a while. So if you've been following this show, you know that we are all about being joyful disciples. And what does it mean to be a follower of Jesus and to help others encounter him? They have to have an encounter with Jesus. How do others have that? They have it through us. We also have to have a sense of accompaniment, and that means to walk with others in every season of their life. And this is going to be an opportunity for us to live the way Jesus taught us. So we're going to talk about a few things on this episode. We're going to talk about how joyful it is to return to Mass and receive Jesus. We're going to talk about how important it is to be kind and to be loving, the way Jesus taught us to be. And for a number of surprising things in this episode, I have guests, and we're going to walk through what it is like from the perspective of a parish to get ready, the perspective of a priest, and really, what is our spiritual anchor at this time?
As a priest, it's great to have you back, and we've been waiting for you to come back for weeks now. It was just a few weeks ago that all the priests in the diocese got a memo from Bishop Sullivan asking us to prepare. And a lot of work has gone into taking that memo and implementing it in each of the parishes. So please know when you come back, tons of work has gone into this, a lot of hours. See if you can find out who at your parish was actually responsible for this and take some time to thank them. You know, as a priest, I have to say a few things are going to look different for us too. As we're saying Mass, we're going to be up front, we're going to be close to the altar, 6 feet, more than 6 feet away from everyone in the church. But there's going to be some changes to the Mass that you'll notice right away. There won't be an offertory procession. As the priest consecrates the bread and wine, the host for the people will be placed off to the side. Communion will be distributed at the end of Mass. And for whatever reason, if a priest makes contact either with the communicant's hand or tongue while distributing communion, he'll have to stop and sanitize his hands. But you know what? It's worth it to do all these changes, to be able to come back safely, to be with you again, and to have the presence of Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament once again with us to receive this sacrament.
Us at the parish are so excited to welcome you back, to be part of a parish community again, and to have our parishioners sitting in the pews. But we do have to let you know, it may look a little different as you come into church. In fact, it will definitely look different than what it looked like before the pandemic. And that is because of social distancing, we do need to block off different pews. So you may see tape on the pews or roping on your pews. You also will see different spacing down the main aisle for the reception of communion to also adhere to social distancing. It's also important to know that you may not get the pew that you're used to sitting in. I know we all love our particular pew and our particular space in the church, whether it be the front right or the back left. However, because our ushers are trying to get the most amount of people at the percentage and social distance, we do need to spread you out in a particular way. So we hope that you are peaceful and just accepting of that, and know that just the important thing is we're all back together in the church celebrating the Eucharist.
Like many of you, I have been yearning to come back to the parish for Mass. I have been excited and am excited now that I get to see my parish family and celebrate Mass with them and receive the Blessed Sacrament. Receive Eucharist again. But as you've heard already, things will be different. The way people move, where we have to sit, some of the things that we have to pay attention to. A piece of advice that I'll give to you, as just another guy who's going to join you in the pew. Let's be patient, be grateful, and be joyful that we finally get to be back together. Let's help one another, follow the directives by those people that were put in place by our pastors to lead us and help guide us through this transition. So, I invite you, when you arrive to your parishes, arrive with an open heart and an open mind. and let's just be joyful as we begin to celebrate the sacraments again together.
In the end, it comes down to those two big commandments, love God and love your neighbor. And so when we come together to love God and worship Him in Sunday Mass, which we're so excited to, we can ask for the grace and for the help of God to love in all the little situations that will be new. How will I love the usher bring me to my new seat? How will I love the person who may be able to go to Mass and I might not be able to? How can I believe and trust that God sees the sacrifices and the desire I want to go to Mass, even if for whatever reason I can't? We believe and love the Lord and we love our neighbor, and it's now our opportunity to show it in our parish communities together.
So what a beautiful time for all of us to come back into community at the great sacrifice of the Mass and to receive the Eucharist. This is a joyful time for us. But as you've heard from everyone who's been on this week's episode, it will be important for us to be joyful, to be patient, and to be kind. We're going to have to be flexible with the changes that are here. The changes are here for a reason. It's to keep each other safe. But we are back together as parish family, back in our communities where we have longed to be. So I wish you abundant blessings as you head back to Mass. For those of you who choose to remain at home or must remain at home, you still have your live streamed Masses, you still have spiritual communion, and you are still part of the community. So there is much for us to celebrate as we head into this period of time where we come back together as family.